What's going on, everybody? This is Ross of the
Hey,
Mission Effect.
hey,
And of course, I'm
hey.
joined with my beautiful, wonderful, fantastic, thought-provoking co-host, the lovely Miss Sarah Lace.
I don't know if I'm thought provoking, but I'm definitely a thought.
Ah,
Uh,
food for thought.
for thought,
Just
definitely.
thought funny. But
Yes, but I'm actually very excited to have our new guest today. Her name is Channy Crossfire. Please introduce yourself, beautiful.
I'm Channy Crossfire. Thanks for having me.
So, Channing, tell us about yourself. Like, who is this human in front of us?
I am a human being with many passions. So uh, I'm very active in so many ways.
So,
Passionate and active.
Yep, yep.
Like,
Yeah.
So like I've been looking at your profile. Like I seen like you're a gym rat, you're an advocate. You do MMA. I saw one of your fights. It
What?
was
No, not even. Wait, which one?
it
Is
was
it on my
one.
lead stream?
It's on YouTube. It's you fighting
Okay, yeah,
outside
that was yeah, a street one.
in a street
Yeah.
fight. I didn't see the MMA one. I'm like I'm interested in seeing. I love the MMA, so
Oh
I love
yeah,
to watch it.
definitely.
And like
Yeah, I'm
I
I'm in like pre-fight camp right now, so I'm trying to get some more official bouts and competition in, and I'll post that up too. So
like what
I don't mind like some of my vanilla life and industry life. Kind of I know how to balance it now. So yeah.
like
yeah.
which form of MMA do you because you just said MMA like
Mm-hmm.
training, but it doesn't seem like which form do you
Mormon style. I mean, I like a little bit of everything, but for martial arts, my foundation is boxing, and then
okay.
for striking, it is like Muay Thai, Kung Khmer, kickboxing, but a little bit of everything though. Yeah.
So
I like
basically
that, being well
basically
rounded.
don't cross you because you can annihilate me with one strike and I would be
Right.
left in a bloody puddle of piss on the ground, wondering what happened to me, and I wouldn't be able to get up again.
You always get so descriptive, but at the end of the day, that's why your last name's Crossfire. Like
Yeah,
some people
don't
want to
cross
cross
her.
you.
Don't cross her because you will
Mhm.
feel the fire.
Exactly.
Right. And I used to be more low key about that. I only the mentality was just for self defense.
Mhm.
I'd rather not have people try to challenge me on purpose. Because there are like guys with big egos out there. And
Definitely.
but now I'm a bit more open about it, especially since I'm also a self defense instructor. So
Ooh.
I'd rather people know how to do some situational awareness, and everyone should learn a little bit of something, not just for self
Mhm.
defense, especially in this industry. You gotta look out for yourself.
See, I'm gonna throw this in here to what you're saying. Like, and Sarah knows this. Usually, like, if someone does my podcast in person and or
Mhm.
or just comes through my home, whatever, I
Mhm.
have these security kits that I give like a lot of my female guests that come through, whatever, like that are in the industry or people in general. That's not even the industry, whatever, because I
Mhm.
know like because of what you do sometimes and or like just in general just
Just
being
walking
of
around.
just being of the female gender, people would try to try you no matter what. So
Exactly.
I give these security kits out that has like a glass breaker.
What?
It's a glass
What?
breaker.
Care
It's a
packages? Oh,
it's a taser. It
What?
is a pepper
Let me
spray.
see.
It's a thing you pull
yo,
out.
yes,
You pull
yes.
out. It makes a
Uh-huh.
loud noise.
Hmm.
And what else is on there? There's one more thing.
It's the button that makes the noise
Yeah,
too.
that's why I just put the
You
but
know,
like
Okay, yeah.
the pull out
With those
buzzer, and
sirens.
I think it's one more thing on there. I think
mm,
it's probably a decorative thing. And
the
then
little
I you say what?
the little charms that
Yeah,
they come with.
the charm thing. I thought it was, and then
How cute.
I give very few people the knives
Mm-hmm.
because like most of the time if you try to take a knife out, sometimes you can stab yourself trying to stab them. So it's kind of
Mm.
almost counterproductive.
Yeah, if they're not
And
that
if
trained with that, yeah.
and if they're
Hmm.
like it is a real stalky person who might be
Mhm.
able to overpower you, if you pull out a knife and you can't
It
stab
would have to
them,
be close
they can
range.
take it from you and just stab you, and then
Mhm.
you're all messed up. So
Mhm.
but that's what I get, like as far as self-defense goes, because people are weird, people
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's an understatement. There are toxic people in this world and in this industry. You know,
For
I'm
real.
I'm
like, right. Sometimes I walk around purposely without makeup and sweats, hoping, to just to be low maintenance and kind of laying low, and I still get hit on and just sweats and no makeup. I'm like, the fuck? They
I'm
just
a,
smell
I'm
pussy,
Exactly.
and
my
they still
friend, I'm
hit
gonna be honest with you as a
on.
from a male perspective. We do not care.
Yeah, they don't care what we look
We
like. Like
do
I've
not
looked like a
care.
bum before. Like
Oh my god,
Like
dude.
this as long as you're not you aren't walking around and your appearance doesn't make you look like you completely live on the streets. As long as it looks like you have a house that you
Uh-huh.
go home
I should
to,
just smell on purpose then.
huh?
I mean, even then they be hitting on homeless women,
That's true.
like
That's
I
true.
mean
There's
just
you
fiends
don't
out there
even
no matter
gotta
just
what.
be clean to get hit on.
I mean like we don't
Yeah.
care. Like we're like to use an old term, I don't know if it's still relevant because I'm old. We're thirsty. We stay
Yeah.
thirsty.
Fiends for sure. Extra people out there. Yeah.
And that's just from my perspective, like as a male, to be honest. Because I
Yeah,
don't, yeah,
he
I'm
gave
not
me a
like
hit
I'm not like
about
that, cause but many of us
Yeah.
are.
so he gave me a kit like
Mhm.
about what a year ago I'd say,
Mhm.
and
Probably.
I've had to brandish it twice.
Oh shit.
Like
Which one exactly?
so I was using the taser just essentially just to look menacing.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I was just walking around in LA, mind you, it was during the daytime. I was going
Mm-hmm.
from the museum, one of the museums there, to a restaurant. I was getting followed. So obviously I had to show him that I wasn't scared of him basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time was actually a little more recently. It was at the airport. I was literally inside
Damn.
of the LA
I
airport
remember
waiting
that.
for my bag, right? I was just waiting for my bag and I was actually heading to Rostar's place. And there was just this guy walking around the entire terminal. I went from one end to the other,
Okay.
walking back and forth. And I knew he was following me. So I
Okay.
FaceTimed my friend and we were screen recording everything. Like he followed me for about 45 minutes.
Damn. Okay.
Mhm. And
Hey, I.
I couldn't find my bag, so I had to go to like the actual like luggage attendants.
Mhm.
And luckily they were also able to help me out. But the thing is, all of them were women or older men who were like, there's nothing that I can physically do, I can
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
stand in front
unless
of
he
you, but
Especially when they're on the clock.
unless,
Yeah.
unless he
yeah.
actually approaches you, there's nothing they could do, which sucks. And like I know, like one of my friends, she works out a lot, and she used to like go there late, and she walked to the place
Mhm.
to work out, and I'm like, you're walking home in an area, I'm not gonna say where, in an area at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're walking at least like a 30-minute walk. Come
Hmm.
Yeah.
on now. I like and don't get me wrong, like I got like I think she can defend herself just a little bit, but it's still the fact that she's still like a smaller young lady. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I think she was one of the first two people I gave one to because yeah, I fear for people's safeties a lot.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I'm glad that you do give me hope for this industry as well, giving out those resources. I do the same too when I travel. I try to give out resources.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them are trained to just observe and report. And
Mhm.
until someone initiate physical contact, then that's when they step in. But yeah, Sarah, I give you props. Thank you for sharing that story. Fucking A, like that's so unnerving. And I'm glad you trusted
Yeah.
your intuition, your
Hmm.
instinct. Just to notice that someone like more than a couple times, like looks familiar. That
Yeah.
it's that situational awareness, right? Just kind of look around you more.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the things me and my different organizations try to teach. It's like before things get really close, before people invade your personal boundaries, and you have a right to your personal space, your bubble and
Hmm.
your boundaries. You have a right for that. A lot of
Exactly.
guys like fucking man spread, but we have a right to also take space.
Hmm.
And um yeah, that's one of the things we like to try to train people. Just not be on your phone too much, just look around more, you know, uh,
Hmm.
like form
Yeah,
connections with the environment around you.
yeah, no
But
matter
yeah,
where you are, because like as she said, she was at
especially in
the
the daytime,
airport,
goddamn, yeah.
and she was at the airport. Like, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, people
Mhm.
don't. They don't care as long as like they see, like because you looking at her like you're 5'2", right, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm
So
5'2".
yeah, she's 5'2", and people can say, "Oh, she's a tiny person. I can
Yeah,
just
most of them assume that.
manhandle that person."
Yep.
Most of them
And
assume that for sure. And especially, traveling, like not to speak for everyone, but of course, I also travel by myself a lot, being a person of color, going to these hotels. I always have my own like safety protocols, like double locking the doors. I find a
Yeah.
lot of male privilege. A lot of guys don't lock their doors at hotels, and that's male privilege right there. But
Hmm.
yeah,
They don't
and
think about it.
exactly. And then, with traveling, especially in Florida, I've definitely seen some Confederate flags, and, people are out there for sure keeping eyes on you, keeping tabs on you, and once they get that chance. But no, I know a lot of chicks, like with our size, they could fight. In the UFC, they have like 115, 120 pounders. You could fucking scrap.
Exactly.
oh,
Exactly.
Because the thing is,
I'm not saying y'all can't fight. I'm just saying people
Exactly.
assume because you're
No,
smaller that you don't have
exactly.
a fiery side and that you
Exactly.
won't
Most
get
people
down.
assume that. Yeah, so that's why we will be more targeted because we're smaller, you know?
hmm
Be
Yeah.
more
and
crucial for us. Yeah.
for example, I don't have any tattoos or anything. Like my
Mm-hmm.
hair is, like a natural color.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have anything that's too distinguishable about me that
Mm-hmm.
makes it where you can place me out right away.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what they tend to target because I actually used to be in college for criminal justice. So this is one of the things
Hey.
like
Uh-huh.
trafficking was one of the things I really looked at. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, like if you just think about all the statistics, I'm like being a woman of color, not
Mm-hmm.
having tattoos, having your hair look natural, like not being distinguishable. For example, I don't have any big scars on my face or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that stuff makes you a lot more likely to be a target.
Mm-hmm. I,
I
I
was
love how
like,
you brought
damn,
that
I don't
up.
want to know that. I'd
Dude,
rather
I
be naive.
uh,
But okay, it's good. It's good to know that, it's kind
exactly.
of,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Thanks for
It's good to
bringing
know.
that up. Yeah. Thank you for bringing awareness to that for sure. Because then it makes sense strategically. You blend in more. And then for stuff to happen at daytime with a crowd of people, I'm sure that's easier cover for them. But that's good though.
Exactly.
You don't have that mentality. It sets you apart from other sheep or from other sheltered chicks. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
It's
we
crazy.
kept it real. We jumped into this. How many minutes are we
Right?
already? Fuck
We're
yeah.
not, no, we're 14 minutes in and we're just talking. But
Nice,
no, no,
nice.
don't get me wrong because I loved bringing awareness to anything and everything that involves people being safe about anything because like I've opened my home to people like just so I can make sure that they're safe and I go out my way sometimes because I know people are people target people.
Yeah, that's why
So
when I go to his place, I like to throw like mini parties, like, 5 or 6 people. That way we all get to hang out and drink and not have to think like, okay, who's our designated driver? Like,
Mm,
who's going home where? Like we end up just doing a sleepover or something and it's just
and
everyone.
I don't drink so I can be aware of what
Yeah.
everybody else is doing. So
okay.
I'm the only sober one over here and everybody's just like yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Also,
going on?
y'all make another safe space for the industry, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
That's good. Yeah,
We try to, you know.
I
that's
try
good.
to,
Yeah,
because I'm industry, but I'm industry adjacent in many terms. I don't perform on
adjacent.
camera. No, because I
Uh-huh.
don't. I've been in this industry for a long, damn, I'm old time. Um,
I love when you bring it up because it's like, what, 20 years?
I've been in porn since '08, so what's that, 16 years?
Oh, snap.
So
That's like right
That
before
was
the
August,
like
recession.
huh?
16
That's like
years.
around the recession.
Recession,
The
damn.
recession. Like I
So
shit.
no, but the thing is, like, like back then I was just helping people get in, and like I'm an extra in two pornos back then,
Mhm.
and then like I just do like I helped run one of the award shows, and I do this podcast. This started way later, but then I was also helping people get into, because back then it was hard to get in the industry. Now it's
Yeah.
a lot easier. Back
Mhm.
then you had to know somebody to like introduce you to people, and it was like, because now it's like you got OnlyFans and you have like 15 different agencies. Back then it was like six.
Yeah.
Mm.
So and it was so hard to get in. So I used to like connect people. Now I'm just here. But I forgot where I was going with this. It was a
Me
reason.
too. The fact that
What?
you're old.
Oh, I mean that's
You didn't even
and
get
what?
to the point. That was where I ended up at.
Damn, I forget where was I going with this? Rewind. What was I talking about
Well,
here?
it seems like you're still in the lifestyle. Like you're still in the industry, you like talking about it.
No,
Even if
oh yeah, because
you're
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of stuff
yeah.
that has changed over the years.
Mm.
But I also
Yeah.
like, I think it's like, oh, and this goes into something else that you do because you are also a mental health advocate. And like I've
Mhm.
known people who've needed that needed that help over the years, you know,
Mhm.
because like, there's many things in this industry that are very challenging and
Mhm.
people deal with. And like a lot of people, I'm not gonna say them, a lot of individuals, like they just reach their breaking point because of either the stress from the industry or stress in general from their home life or stress from being cyberbullied or stress from like receiving any type of hate toward them. This is not just in industry wise, but just in general
Mhm.
wise. But I know that because people are in the industry, I'm using people because men get it too. Um, but it's just a lot to deal with sometimes. So I applaud you being an advocate to those who need it. Um,
You too, Sarah.
because
Oh,
Got that.
it feels
Yeah,
natural, you know? It's
we definitely need more mentorship and guidance with that for sure. I'm just lucky enough to be able to meditate on that beforehand, like before my first few scenes. But yeah, there's a lot of stigmas and a lot of social constructs, um, to that's psychological in this industry, for sure. And I think it's mostly extroverts that are struggling more, because they thrive off of external energy, and they kind of need to be around other people more, especially when it comes to friends and family. I'm actually an introvert, so I like being on my own most of the time, anyways. So it's not gonna be a big problem for me.
you just
But
have your group.
yeah, and no, that's so true. I think another aspect to that is because, like, I remember, I think I've been in this rabbit hole for about 3 years now. But I remember the first year, I really kept it separate.
Mhm.
Kept vanilla life and work life really separate. I didn't give anyone any details about my vanilla life, about what my passions are. I was more low key about my martial arts training. But I think that's because when you separate your identity and your passions too much, then that's
Mhm.
when a lot of the inner conflict comes in. But if you're able to balance it, that's where the authenticity comes in. Where you're
Mhm.
not playing into like a persona or an alias for too long, but it really is trying to balance that for sure. I think And a lot of like the main question I ask a lot of people in this industry is how do you stay true to yourself, without letting this industry eat you up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for sure. It's definitely learning your do's and don'ts and your healthy boundaries. Like it's nice that you open up your home to people, but you gotta like that's a double-edged sword, you know.
Oh yeah, I found that
You
out the
really
hard way.
Oh,
Like,
we
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, like
Went through a
people will take advantage
situation.
of that.
I
Yeah.
found that the hard way, and like, I'm not gonna get into details, but I found it in the hard way about
Mhm.
that, and like, it did add a huge break of who I actually allow inside of my space and who I don't.
Mhm.
Because honestly, at this point, if they aren't Sarah approved or Chris approved, like I probably won't allow them in my home because those are
Mhm.
like the only like well, yeah, those like are like as far as the industry wise, those are like the
Mhm.
main two people in the industry that I trust. And this
Mhm.
it's except for one other person too, but they're approved by for different reasons. But like yeah, like I value their opinion more than
Mhm.
other people because of something that happened in the past. And it's like things are crazy because you try to be someone that someone that everybody, can say, okay, I'm comfortable around this person. And because of one bad apple, it throws wrenches into that situation.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, everyone has different personalities and different values. Not everyone has like really good work ethic, and
Yeah.
not everyone wants to be accountable for their actions or admit their mistakes. There are a lot of people with lots of pride and ego in this industry. So it's also good to find, your tribe. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really understand that until the last like year or so. Like now I have people I trust in this state and this state, who I could stay at, so I'm not at a hotel, and it does take time building those connections and people you trust. Yeah, for sure.
I wish I had a soundboard just to say the word that at that statement. That,
Mm-hmm.
like that
Like
point right
that part,
there.
right?
That part right there.
'Cause-
And I honestly agree with you because like, like as I say again, she comes here when she's in town shooting in like this state we're in right now. And it's like it's easy for her to, go there, come back here and just relax and chillax.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
as you heard the other gentleman that's in my home, like people just come over here and just watch anime all day. So I like literally, and because I have almost everything here, people don't need to
Hmm.
go out and get it. It's like, okay. Yeah, Raw has that most random thing in his household. So
Yeah.
don't worry about
Well,
That's
and on
good.
top of that, I'm there so often that like my address on like some like grocery stuff and like my Amazon
it.
is I already have his address just saved. And sometimes it'll pop up like, do you want to set this as your preferred? I'm like, have I bought that many things there? Like, but that's just how comfortable you get when you're with your tribe, when you're with your people.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to find safe spaces to decompress because our type of work is overstimulating, and we got to learn how to turn it on and off. And that's what some people are having a hard time is turning that on and off. Sometimes there are people out there who are just like on the internet or live streaming like almost all day. It's kind of hard for them to
Mhm.
turn it off. I understand being in work mode, but taking a break from social media, decompressing,
Mhm.
and
Like
learning self-care rituals in between travels and work, that's crucial, and that's something I just learned too the last couple years.
Like I
Yeah.
know, I know for a few people that were here at some point, like when they're here and they're relaxed, they preferred me not to even say their stage name. And like when I
Oh, really?
and like there and there's still some people who come here and I
Huh.
say they're comfortable, but I still say their stage name because I know that I don't want to get into the habit of
Hmm.
saying that other name and then
Mhm.
accidentally say it like in a public setting or around people that
Right. Yeah,
like
that is something
it's
to
like
discuss.
there's people who've been to my home and don't know my real first name, but like it
Remember
is
my
like
name.
I have a lot I have my degrees sitting around, and so unless they actually sit around and read my degrees, some people don't even know my real name. And it's like it's right there. Like if you just look to your right, it's a big old degree there that just says blah blah blah. It's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that's your government name.
That
It's,
takes a lot of trust. Yeah, when you have like your mail, your address, and your government name
I
around,
mean, it's not like
that's
it's
a lot
not
of
how
trust.
you if you see
Yeah.
one letter, it's like like one letter. Oh,
Yeah, there's been sometimes like where we're just all like randomly sitting on the couch or whatever with with a
Mhm.
group of friends, and I
Mhm.
randomly be like, "Oh, hey, Mister This," and everyone look
Mhm.
at me like, "Who?" And then he'll look at me like, "Why? Like, why
Sarah,
are you using that name?"
when you say group of friends, do you blend both your vanilla friends and industry friends, or this is just industry friends?
I'll be honest with you. So I have barbecues at my crib. and I invite both of them over at my crib. And the thing
Uh,
is like we don't even bring up people do porn unless someone is there and it comes
mm,
up in conversation. But we don't even
okay.
talk about it. It's just like it's like you can have Bob from like who works in accounting somewhere at a firm.
Mhm.
You have Sarah
Mhm.
there, and then you have some random person that as just exists in this world that do nothing for life, and they're just sitting there, and we're just sitting back eating barbecue, having a grand old time. So
Mhm.
And
I
what
Okay, so
mix,
you guys do blend it sometimes, yeah,
I
and
mix,
have.
I mix it in that way. But when it comes to when I'm actually doing work in the industry, in my day job, because I have a day job too, I deliberately separate those two because I feel that it's so much stuff that I do for my day job that I love to do that I don't want
Mhm.
it to interfere. So
Right.
like when I just said earlier, I have three different phones. It's because of that.
Mhm.
Good. Some people have a hard time compartmentalizing that and keeping something separate. That's why it's really good to learn your boundaries, like only certain people get to know certain information about you. But that's another thing too that leads to mental health. Um, I think people have a hard time either kind of like letting the fact that you no longer if you're, I mean, if you're still in an industry or lifestyle, that you technically don't have a conventional job or conventional life anymore, you know?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
you would have to have more unconventional friends and unconventional relationships. So that's something I think people are having a hard time to transition and wrap their head around. Yeah. Whether or not you're retired too.
Yeah.
I think a big part of the way that I can get away with it is like when I'm in a different, like depending what state I'm in. Like
Hmm.
if I'm in California, like I'm 100% raw star. If I'm in Indiana or if I'm I'm this persona. And if I'm in Florida, I am 100% like this name, whatever,
Hmm.
because that one is, that's how my money. And because like a big part of what I do for, day job is I help people who either have tried the S word or consider the S word or dealing with
Hmm.
their thoughts about the S word. And then the other side of what I do, which is I can't get into. And like because of that, I try to make sure that they realize, where they can go, whatever. Because I don't want anybody to do the S word to themselves. So,
Hmm.
you know,
Definitely.
and hopefully y'all out there know what I mean when I say S word. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What are you talking about in regards to recruiting for the industry?
No, no, no. This is
Okay.
outside in this. This is what I like. This is an organization I started in
Mhm.
2010, and we were helping kids or people in general, adults, young adults, that were going through or considering that, and then it blossomed to what I do now. And but that's
Damn.
what like the root of it started from people who were considering that or
Mhm.
who were like really going through bad mental issues,
Okay.
because like from either cyberbullying, school bullying, or getting attacked, whatever, and that was the only way that they could see their way out. And like back then, I mean I vocalized it because I attempted it more than once, but I
Wait, are
know
you talking
people.
about suicide?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I was wondering what the
Yeah,
S. Yeah,
yeah.
okay, okay.
That's why I say people out there. I hope you guys know
Yeah.
that. I thought you
That's
understood, but
always
yeah,
like he's complicating it, but it's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah. So that's why I
Okay.
feel that's why I find mental health and important to discuss all the time, and why we try to make sure everybody's okay.
Mhm. Oh
Because
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
for
think we
being
all have our own stories as far as why we would like to help out in that aspect, you know?
here. Mhm.
Because, for example, I was in the military for 3 years,
Ooh.
and while I was in, one of my roommates, she attempted 3 times, but
Oh,
we had
there at that station, at that fort with you? Damn. Okay.
within a year basically, and so uh, I was like, we had her on watch like 5 or 6 times,
Okay.
but like, one of those things is like I'm not saying that take it away from her, but one of
Mhm.
the things that we try to bring up, at least to them, to kind of bring things into perspective, is that it's not just about you. You're also going to be leaving a lot of people behind,
Mhm.
and essentially it's about, she was my roommate. I didn't know her for that long, but like,
Mhm.
mind you, they just throw random people into a room together and
Mhm.
suddenly, you're friends. So it was one of
Mhm.
those where I was like, look, like, we may not have chosen to be in this position together, but I'm here for you, like, we may have our own family problems, our own things here and there, but at the end of the day, we both come back to the same room, to the same person, and I'm here, I'm your person, like, that's one of those things, is reminding people that they're not alone, and
Mhm.
what their life means to others, to the people around them.
Mhm. Damn, Sarah, I give you props for stepping up like that, especially since not everyone is emotionally available, to be there
Mm-hmm.
for people like that, and which I totally understand, It
Exactly.
goes, and you kept it real with her, and that's the thing. You
Mm-hmm.
can't be real with others unless you be real with yourself first. And
Yeah.
that's a lot of, yeah, and a lot of the time people um don't grow to that level yet. So I give you props for that for sure. Yeah, and that's such a tough thing to balance, especially since I've hit rock bottom a couple times. So I understand the mentality I had at that time as well. But the
Mm-hmm.
main thing is that during that phase or during that chapter, it's when you do feel like you don't have hope anymore. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
hope for yourself, hope for your life, or you don't have a healthy, positive relationship with yourself or other people. So I understand like seeing it as a way out, especially if you feel trapped. And
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of in the matrix, right? So I
Yeah.
totally understand being stuck in social constructs, when certain things in society is toxic, and you do want to find a way out. I totally understand that, but it does take it does take a lot of
Like a
inner work
toll.
to find your reason to stay here, to find your passion and stick to that. Yeah.
And we internalize so much of it that we
Mhm.
forget that there's someone right there next to us that we can
Mhm.
talk to, or that they can help us, give us
Mhm.
resources, and we don't have the energy to do it.
Exactly.
I've seen
Yeah.
some people don't even have the energy to seek help, so
Exactly.
it's like, we won't always be able to recognize it in other people, because
Mhm.
everyone has different symptoms, everyone expresses it in a different way. So
Exactly.
it's really about telling them, like, it's okay to reach out, it's okay to not be okay,
Mhm.
you know
That part. That part. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It goes back to reconditioning ourselves because growing up, most of us aren't taught how to take care of ourselves. Most of us aren't taught how to love ourselves or how to deal with society's stresses. We're just
Mhm.
taught to be in this labor and workforce, but now how to deal with things psychologically in our head. So exactly that. It's like that Frozen movie, Conceal Don't Feel. I think a lot of us had to go
Oh
through that
yeah.
growing up. Yeah. So it is hard for a lot of people to talk, to open up and
Mhm.
feel safe to say something and to know that what they're saying isn't wrong. They're not going to be shamed for it. that what they're saying and what they're feeling is validated. You know, it really, that is the first step, is to talk about it, have these hard conversations,
I
you
think the
know, and that's
hardest
where we heal as a community. Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for some people is to know that it's okay to feel
Hey, that
Mhm.
because
part. Yeah.
we're so used like as far as like it's enough for like for guys they say, well, you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to feel emotion, you're supposed to do this, whatever. You're supposed to
Hmm.
be this and you can't, you can't feel,
Hmm.
and I believe in order to get through anything, you have to learn how to feel so you
Hmm.
can get through whatever and you can fight anything head on once you know how to feel. So
Yeah, hell yeah. There's a lot of expectations and pressure for all genders, but it does go back to the feeling part. Some of us either feel too much and be overwhelmed so much, and then that kind of leads to wanting to feel numb, to not feel
Mhm.
anymore. And that's where we have to find the balance, you know,
yeah.
and find certain ways to channel those daily stresses and daily intensity, you know, and that's what music, yoga, martial arts does for me on a daily basis, to, you know, to deal with like all these external factors in life and what's going on around the world. That's how I channel and regulate my emotions, you know, and that's something I had to learn the hard way, but better late than never. You know, some of us do gotta learn the hard way, but like people like us, though, just trying to mentor and teach other people, pass on this knowledge, you know, to some people out there where they don't have to go through things the hard way. That's the hope that we're trying to have here, cause these like positive ripple effects. Yeah.
Exactly. I
So
I would actually like to eventually create like an art therapy class.
Hey, fuck
I
yeah.
like using art as a way to kind of express my feelings, like
Hmm.
that's one of my hobbies, and it's one of the ways that I kind of just like let my feelings out.
Hmm.
So the way I like to do it, where it's whenever I'm feeling sad, then I'll use, like the cold colors, like, the blues,
Oh.
like all the cold colors. And then if I'm feeling angry, I'll put reds, fiery colors. When I'm feeling happy, I'll put bright colors. So for example, if there's a certain, like, one specific thing that you're upset about, you
Hmm.
start that on one canvas, you start painting it as you personally feel like you're resolving that issue, either externally or internally. You
Hmm.
keep painting, and that painting will become brighter.
Fuck
You know,
yeah.
so
Yeah. Oh my god. You have my support for that. We do need more of that in this world. And that shit, there are there's research where that actually is very therapeutic and helpful for people, you know? So fuck yeah. We need more of that, especially in this industry and just in general. Fuck yeah.
exactly.
so we don't get too far and not talk about you, Miss Channy, because I'm loving
Yeah.
this conversation. But we do to make sure we do bring up what you're doing in this world. So what is this guidance contest that you're in right now?
All right. So this would technically, hopefully, be my first reality show competition.
Okay.
Mm.
And yeah, you're right. So
Mhm.
what they do is they're gonna have about four different females or goddesses in each continent. There's gonna be about six continents, and I'm trying to be in this. I'm in the semifinals right now,
Mhm.
or
Okay.
well, about to be in the semifinals. So I'm trying to be one of the people, if not the main person, to represent the states in North America.
Okay.
And you know,
Ooh.
I've looked at the other contestants for the states, and majority of them are white. I'll be honest, and I think we could do better at representation for this country. You know, being more progressive, moving forward. You know, and yeah, because I'm so connected to many different issues and aspects of this country, I think I would be the most like you mentioned, the most well-rounded candidate.
Mhm.
So the point of this is so if you win this show, you'll be able to have a good amount of money to pay forward to, you know, whatever charity, your community, you know, and
Mhm.
not just that, but also a contract for for lingerie fighting championship, and all
Ooh.
yeah, all that speaks to me. So I'm genuinely like all
Yeah.
that resonates to yeah, all that resonates with me. And
Okay.
I think most of the contestants, if not half of the contestants, are probably in it just for the reality show and for the money and the exposure. But all that is a win-win-win for me. And regardless if I do win or not, I just want to be able to have again, more exposure, more platforms to raise awareness about mental health and have more deep conversations like this. And I also just want to get to know the other contestants from the other countries and, pick their brain about their family, what it's like growing up in those countries, and having those real deep political conversations, but also um, about their food, and traveling and
Oh, I
culture.
love
A
food.
little bit of everything. Yeah. Yeah. And I love how it already is such a big platform to uplift other females from other countries. And
Okay.
what I want to bring to the table is even though it's a competition, I'm not going to bring any toxic femininity into it, no cattiness, no extra
Mm-hmm.
drama and shit.
When does the voting end, or when is it?
I'm not sure. I didn't really get intel about that. I was asking about that, but I'm not sure when voting ends. I just see that the site is still up and voting is still up, so I'm just gonna keep trying to vote. Um, but we'll see if they'll start rounding us up by the end of this year, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
early
Okay.
next. Yeah,
Ooh.
but yeah, I'm excited. So
So can they
I've
vote
already made a
daily?
list of like what charities and what organizations if I do win. So.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Can they vote daily?
Hell yeah. So you get one free vote daily. So I'm sure there are people buying their votes, which I totally understand. It's part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely, I don't know, I'm feeling good about it. Um, but either way, it's something I do care about, and I do want to prove to other people that not all of us are superficial, not all of us are shallow in this industry. Some of us are
Mm-hmm.
actually wholehearted human beings that care about one another and what's happening in the world. I do like this new generation of people in this industry, you know. So yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't.
I love how inclusive,
I just
um,
tried to look on the site. It didn't say. So
right?
Wait, what were you saying, Sarah?
I love how inclusive we've become as an industry, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are pros and cons and a trade-off to everything. So some people might not like how it's more inclusive because then there's a lot more people to go around, and it's kind of hard to find people to collab or work with because of that. But it's a trade-off. It's more diverse now. You have more options now. Especially even introvert like me. Some of us don't want to travel and like be out in person too much. Some of us want to just work from home and do like webcam shit all day, which I totally
Mm-hmm.
understand. So there's that too. Yeah.
I have you.
I have two internet just for that reason. It's
Mm-hmm.
like
What?
it's like so like
Sammy.
I have my main internet, and and you know how sometimes when someone's like live streaming, it uses more
Yeah.
bandwidth. So
Yeah.
I have another one that's in my home
Uh-huh.
that because people use my other room just to
Mm-hmm.
webcam. So
Okay.
like I be in my room once I put my headphones on, I don't hear anything else. But once his
Mm-hmm.
headphone comes off, I hear everything. And like
Yeah.
I try to avoid having these headphones off when someone's in there because
Mhm.
I hear everything and I don't want to hear everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's
Remember
been
when you thought there was an earthquake, but it was just me and Ace?
yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
That's
Yeah.
And
funny.
then it was
No,
an
no,
actual
because it
earthquake
was
the
a like
following
the
day, I
wall's over
think.
here, so I just hear like it was like banging against the wall really bad, and I thought I'm like, wait a second, is that because I don't really I sometimes I don't feel the earthquakes, so I just thought it was one that was going on, and then I went
Mhm.
like this, I'm like, no, they just back there having sex. But no, 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 no. I don't know if you were in LA at the time that it happened, but like there was an earthquake, that the very last earthquake that happened here, and like two people were in my room shooting an anal scene. They were in the other room shooting an anal scene, and like I felt it go off, and like I'm like, that's a real earthquake this time. That's not them. And I thought about what she just said because I'm like, that's because like something started shaking in my house. I'm like, okay, that's a real earthquake. And I messed with them afterwards. I'm like, see, y'all just causing earthquakes to happen over here. Y'all up here
That
doing
booty cheeks clapping.
yeah, well, it was her. She was doing her first anal, like her first. She was doing a tester anal thing.
Oh, okay.
She had never tried anal before, and he
Nice.
was using. They were using the room to teach her how to do anal, and they were making
Okay.
it out of a thing, whatever. And like while they were doing it, the earthquake happened. They're like right in the middle of the penetration.
That's good that she's training for that, in a trusted space. But
Yeah.
that's not a bad way to go, in my opinion.
Right?
But during the earthquake, like it's like
Well, at least there's
I don't ask to see any videos or anything, but in my brain, all I was wondering was like how like if they were in a break or if they were in a break mode, or if he was actually inside at the moment, and then all of a sudden, you know,
mhm. Imagine being like close to an orgasm and like being like, wait, is that earthquake me? Like,
Okay,
you
that
know,
part. Okay,
feeling
yeah.
like self shake, but you're like, wait, the room is shaking too. Like
Okay,
that
yeah,
would
that
be
part.
like,
Yeah, getting blue balled in an emergency. Yeah,
imagine.
that'll
Ugh.
hit different.
Mhm. I'd still keep fucking though if I was that close. I'd be like, let's
Yeah,
go.
right? Dude, I'm the chick that I'm the type of chick if there was a zombie apocalypse, I'm like and I'm with someone attractive, I'm like, dude, you gotta let me know if you got bit so I can see if I can still get one in real quick. I'm that type of chick. But at the
Right?
same time, like the zombie apocalypse put things in perspective. Like that's the only time I'm considered switching to a more long-term birth control because I wouldn't want to be out trying to find fucking like condoms, you know.
Mm. See,
Real.
I'd be lucky as shit if a zombie apocalypse happened because I have the copper IUD. It
Oh yeah,
lasts,
please tell
I
me.
think,
Yeah.
either up to 8 years or up to 12,
Okay.
something like
Tell
that.
me your honest. Like I've heard pros and cons about it. So like, what's your intel on that with your experience? Yeah.
I think from one thing that I will warn you is for me, this is kind of my last resort one because I can't
Mm.
do hormonal birth control. I've
Oh
tried
shit.
them. They don't
Yeah.
like,
Damn.
they
Okay.
work negatively on me, you know?
Yeah.
I had actually on this arm, I had
Mm.
the implant here. That one was really, really bad. It really fucked with my hormones.
Ooh.
Um, and so I will say this: it's great not having not having additional hormones in your body, but on top
Okay.
of that, it means that you feel the pain and you actually
Oh.
have your full period, you have the spotting and everything.
Okay. So that's the trade-off for you.
Yeah, exactly. So the other ones will take away your cycle versus this one,
Mm.
like it will generally make it heavier. But if
Mm.
you think about it, also when they insert it, they open up your cervix. So you
Mm.
actually get dilated to the 1 centimeter or whatever
Oh, damn. Okay.
with
How
no
long have you had
anesthesia.
that so far?
So I've had it for about 5 years now,
Oh
and for me,
shit.
that works really great. I like
Mm.
it. I haven't really had problems with it except for if it's too cold and I'm shivering a lot, like it's a metal inside my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your cervix will actually contract. So you'll essentially
Oh.
technically have like mini contractions. If
Okay.
it's too cold and you're shivering, you'll end up with mini contractions. So that will obviously be painful.
Oh
Um,
fuck.
and then if you're fucking someone and they go like too deep, they hit it wrong spot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't feel it then and there, but after your adrenaline runs off,
Yeah.
may end up feeling cramps.
Oh
Which
shit.
what I recommend is getting the hot water bottle or just taking a hot bath.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for
But
the
those are
tip and
I
advice
feel
on
like
that.
the two big I guess dangers that I'd say because
Mhm.
you have to realize with there not being hormones, it's gonna hurt more. You know, like
Mm.
so it also is gonna build your pain tolerance.
Okay,
That's
okay.
your pain tolerance will increase, that's for sure.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or not. But hey,
Mhm.
you know,
I'm all for building
That's the
pain
trade-off,
tolerance,
man.
but I'm
Being
good
a
with it.
female is a trip, man.
You
yeah.
didn't hear what I said.
Huh? No,
No,
I'm still thinking about what Sarah just said. I'm
no,
over
I
here
was
thinking about reproductive rights and birth control and like these states are banning abortion and shit.
no, I said this. I said this the other day. It's interesting that Kentucky is trying to ban all like abortion at like 6 weeks, but they're fighting to keep the right to marry your cousin,
Oh
Oh wow.
first
yeah,
cousin.
yeah.
Damn,
First,
that's twisted.
You say what?
mhm.
That's twisted. Kentucky?
Yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're trying to keep
I
their
think it's a
right to
red
marry
state,
their
isn't
first
it?
cousin. Their
That makes
first
sense.
cousin. And
Damn.
but we don't want y'all to get married, but we don't want you to have kids. We want you to keep the kid, you know, even if you get assaulted or any of these things like that. But guess
Yeah, those
what?
are red flags for sure. That's already
But
telling you the
we
controlling.
want to marry our cousin. And like I think one of the Congress dudes says like, yeah, my parents are first cousins.
Oh yeah. I think that's why he was trying to keep it on there,
Like,
which that's kind of awkward, but
you
whatever.
you don't see nothing wrong with that.
Blue blood isn't as good as they think it is, okay?
Mhm.
You don't want
I'm
to
like,
have blue blood.
a bit much, you know.
That's such a slippery slope because you know if it's consensual, that's one thing, and then like birth defects genetically, that's another thing. But the main thing that I'm concerned about is the controlling toxic aspects of it and those dynamics, you know, that you're
That's
teaching to like the next generation, that family.
mhm.
What bothers me the most is like because I know the R word, RIPE, like happens a lot, and a lot of people don't report it, and they try to say, well,
Wait, are you talking about rape?
yeah, right,
Yeah.
What's
like
with you and these abbreviations?
no, I don't
He
like.
is.
Just say it like this.
I have a thing with like some words are triggers for
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people.
that's true.
And
Yeah,
always do it like that. Just because I know some words are triggers. Um,
got you. Got you.
but
Okay.
like a lot of girls, a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people like don't talk about the R word happening, and like when they go get abortion, whatever, they don't say that this happened to them. They just go get it, whatever.
Mhm.
And because of that, it doesn't chime as this is the reason for this because some of them may feel ashamed that it happened, or
Mhm.
some of them don't want to talk about what happened, or they don't want to report the person who's doing this to them. Or
Exactly.
it's a whole list of reasons, but that's three of the reasons, whatever. And because it's not chime, people say, well, it's only a small amount that is from this thing, and they don't realize that
Mhm.
it's a bigger portion than you realize because people don't want to talk about it. I'm not saying that, it's like 80% or anything like that, but it's
Mhm.
a good portion rather than you saying, yeah, it's only like 2%, and it's
Mhm.
way more than 2%, as far as the world population goes.
Exactly. And we're only just talking about what's being reported. But I'm
Hmm.
glad you brought that up. That goes back to our society conditioning us females to just do things quietly, sweep things under the rug, you know, and, just victimizing us and then just pointing fingers and throwing stones. We're not taught to have these types of conversations where, there's more accountability, and,
America
that
doesn't like women.
I mean,
I
the world
mean,
doesn't like
No,
women. It's not one
I'm just putting it
specific
out
country.
there. They don't like. I heard a thing that they want to reverse the women's right to vote. There's people who been saying,
Oh my
then y'all,
god.
y'all want to reverse the women's right to vote.
Damn.
Y'all want to take away their like them having decisions on what to do with their
Mhm.
reproduction rights. You want to take this away from women, and it's so many things that they are always attacking women on on different issues. Then like what makes it bad is a lot of people who are of the female gender that is supporting taking the right away. Like someone literally, like I forget who it was, but someone literally said, "Oh, like I don't think like this is a woman talking, saying that I don't believe women should vote. They don't like they we're they're too emotional. She said we're she said we're too emotional, and depending on where we are in our, she said where we are in our cycle, you
Mhm.
know, we're gonna like vote based on that." And like, I'm like, that is wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a good amount of brainwashing that's going around, with toxic masculinity, toxic femininity, and that could be probably just a survival aspect for her, you know. Um,
Yeah, but
but
I don't know.
that is
I just
going
hate
back.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too surprised because there are already states right now that are really like borderline, really going backwards. Not as um, they don't have certain safety parameters and the more red states for sure, but it goes back to just being more controlling, decreasing voting turnout. Everything's connected. They're doing this grimy shit for a reason. You know,
Mm-hmm. I
but it's good
mean,
to keep tabs on it. You know,
if you think about it, even the education system is designed for that, you know? Like
exactly.
it
Yeah.
kind of takes away our creativity, and we're kind of trained to essentially be a workforce to do mindless tasks.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why I hate
Exactly.
Prager. That's why I hate Prager U. But that's a whole different amount of hate that if I get into it, that's a
Wait, what do you
50
hate?
Prager
Slight dive.
U.
Slight dive. Huh?
Prager U.
Cracker you.
Prager U. Prageru. It is a program that they approved in Florida, and
Oh,
basically
Florida.
so
Yeah.
much like it's approved in Florida, Georgia, Texas, and one other state. And just listening to the propaganda that they allowed this as far as this
Again.
education goes, it is so like I'm a history major, and Sarah knows once I get started talking about history,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
hard to
slight dive.
shut. It is really hard to shut me the F up.
So
And
that's related to banning color theory, right? Color race theory.
yeah,
It's related
and
to that, yeah.
it's like little things saying like in this program saying, yes, slaves were happy to be slaves. And when they got free, whatever, they were happy that they learned a skill from slavery.
Oh my god, dude, that type of gaslighting, that that says a lot. I just had a recent like small conversation with my current coach, and we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about how there are people in denial out there of the ugliness of humanity. Like I understand you don't want to feel bad about what the majority of your race stereotypically did, but the problem solving mentality is how could we move forward, bridge connections so this doesn't happen again in our lifetime or in the next generation. But people are just
Mm-hmm.
so prideful, so egotistical. A lot of people don't want to have paradigm shifts. A lot of people don't want to question their way of living. Some people
Mhm.
are too comfortable, and that's the problem. And maybe they don't have um friend or family that they could associate with to think about fighting for those issues because they don't have people that represent that in their circles. If everyone
Mm-hmm.
already has it good, then like what is there to fight? What is there to stand for? But that's a
Exactly.
lot of self-preservation there, fight or flight mode. I understand people do want to protect their families, but when it comes to like uh like seeing like MAGA shirts and MAGA merch doesn't trigger me anymore, which is telling of my growth emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, with all my travels and meeting so many other different people on the political spectrum, I just say at the end of the day, as long as you keep your own people in check from doing something like evil, something that's like obviously wrong, that's what matters to me, because no one should be put on a pedestal. No one's hands are clean. And, we're all woke here. So we all know that it's trying to manipulate us and make us fight one another. So we are distracted from the main issues of classism and toxic institutions that are set in place, so the rest of us aren't able to grow, so they could exploit us more. But that's a slight dive, obviously we're already aware of those toxic whitewash institutions and education. It's like you said, they just want to keep us docile and complacent. They don't want us to learn how to critically think for ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
question other people, which leads to, the toxic military, complex of they just want soldiers, more workforce, more expendables,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing about the pandemic quarantine. I hope it woke people up that, a lot of us can't live on just regular 9 to 5 conventional jobs anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we definitely, it's a different type of hustle for sure. Like,
It's
we got
like for me,
a hustle
for,
in Cali, but it's a mental hustle as well, to stay woke and not let it like eat you up, when you know more than like your peers or your circles or your family. That's why I think we should plant these little seeds along the way with people. Because once you open up that layer or that Pandora's box or that can, it could be so overwhelming for people, For like, what this whole time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
it's like for me, it's always like what George Santana said, like those who don't know the history are doomed to repeat it. And
Mm,
basically we're repeating it, and two, like if you ever seen the movie Idiocracy, I feel that we're
uh-huh.
slowly headed to that. And
I can see that.
you can see the it in the world already. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are, I'm so glad we have movies like that where they're also trying to send positive messages because
Mm-hmm.
movies bring people together, So that's another way to help enlighten people and to plant that
see
seed. Yeah, so movies like Idiocracy and Wall-E, you know, exactly. And what were you gonna say, Sarah? I feel like you were about to say something.
I forgot, but when you were saying that, I was thinking of the movie Don't Look Up. I'm like,
oh my
Oh,
God.
you like that movie? Okay, and
it's
now
yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
watch
so
it with
good,
you.
but it's
Yeah.
You haven't
also
seen
like,
it yet? Well,
damn,
you haven't seen
shaking
Don't Look
my
Up
head.
yet? Oh my God, movie night.
You like it,
Yeah,
Sarah?
yeah, I like
Yeah,
it. It's
okay,
We
really
I'll add it when I watch
movie night. We you have to watch that, man. Like
it.
it puts in perspective exactly what's going on right now.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
like you just said woke, they were saying like basically if you're woke, you're looking up.
mm,
But
yeah.
Oh.
go ahead and like I'm not gonna say more than that. Movie night.
Uh-huh.
Watch like
Hmm.
tonight at like whenever you're done with all you have to do.
Mhm.
It's like what a hour and 40-minute movie, 2 hour movie. Sit
Mhm.
back. Great acting, and I think you would really enjoy it.
Mhm.
Movie
What's
night.
your review on it, Sarah? Your take on it?
So, like
Yeah.
for me, I feel like it shows about being willfully naive,
Oh.
like knowing that there's something up there because what they're basically like, you look up and you can see it, like
Mm.
it's visibly there, but people are like, nah, it's not there, it's not there. If you don't look up, it's not there. And you're just like, just because you don't look up or just because you're not woke doesn't mean the
Uh,
problem has gone away.
oh,
Just
yeah.
because you're not paying attention to it does not mean that there's not a problem.
Oh shit. Okay, so the movie's a lot more deeper than
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
is. Okay.
exactly. But it comes off as just like a dumb comedy type of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
one of
that's
those
it.
that keeps you laughing and it keeps you a little bit in suspense where you're just like, whoa, what the fuck? It's like, okay, what's about to happen? But it
Mm-hmm.
shows you how people react to certain information.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I want you to go ahead and watch it, and then let's have a conversation about it after. Because we're running out of time. Because we're running out of time. But I do want
Okay.
you to make sure that what all do you have coming up? What all should our viewers look forward to?
Yes.
Well, pretty much, yeah, I'm just mostly working on my Goddess Among Us campaign and trying to bring more exposure to myself and the causes that I advocate for
Okay.
and trying to get my votes up. Um, yeah, and then of course, you find my socials, all my links are on there, both my safe for work and not safe for work links. So everything about me is just on those links for sure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I just want to make sure
That's
you had
it.
any videos that are like a specific, like I got a video coming out with blah blah. You should check
Uh-huh.
out, because I don't like I see your content, but I don't know what all that, the plethora of stuff that you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that could always be very mass or very constricted. So you never know.
Uh-huh.
But
Um, wait, what?
look, you said so I shut up.
I I do that too. I'm like, okay, you're thinking.
Oh
I
shit.
guess go ahead and shout out your link tree if you can't
Yeah.
think of
Yeah,
a video that's coming out.
give me your like what are all your links and stuff like that?
Yeah, so Linktree/Channy Crossfire. You can find that on Safe for Work Instagram or Not Safe for Work Twitter. Yeah, and even if you don't vote for me, check out the other organizations that I'm supporting, and just even
If
that
you want
extra
to, if
like
you want to,
help.
you can name them.
Yeah, so there's endoverdose.net. We're about to hit EDC week to all my queer raver friends. Yeah. And then, of course, the self defense organizations like shout out to They Can't Burn Us All, shout out to Brave, shout out to Seniors Fight Back. There is an event this Sunday for Seniors Fight Back, a free self defense seminar in Koreatown, and you'll get free pepper spray and a free safety alarm. But you gotta stay after class though. So there's that. It's open to like all races and all demographics, but it is mostly catered to the elderly demographics, especially with Asians, especially since with the previous Trump administration and their negative narrative of Asians and scapegoating them for the pandemic. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, Trump does not have a diplomatic bone in his body, and that's dangerous. And we gotta
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
help, yeah, we gotta help keep one another in check. And I understand we have this toxic celebrity culture in this country, and depending on if that celebrity is a philanthropist or altruistic or humanitarian, that would work out for all of us. But if
Mm-hmm.
that celebrity is toxic like Trump and just doing things for clout and just instigating negative
Violence, yeah.
stuff, then that's something we gotta, keep that shit in check. Like even
But
other
just
Republicans are, he's ruining it for the rest of them as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you really
so
need to watch No Don't Look Up.
don't look up.
Yeah,
Okay,
you really
With
have to
everything
watch
is
it. You're
you
gonna
really have
love
to
it.
watch it.
I
You're
oh,
gonna
swear.
you
parallels. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, you'll like it'll like I will say this. A piece of it will piss you off, but then you'll see why you'll because you will say it's going on right now.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's why people like certain people didn't like it because it's what's going on right now, and they
Oh, it's too
know
real for them.
I
It's
it's
too
think
too
so.
real for
Yeah,
some
it's
it's
too
too
people.
real.
real.
Oh,
It
okay.
was too real for some people. So,
Shit.
but
Okay.
everybody, make sure you go and check her out. Like, I love this conversation. She is.
Oh yeah.
This is my first time having a conversation with her, y'all. And the thing is, before I got on here, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and they were telling me how awesome she was. And I'm like, oh, and I got more hype psyched to get on here. So make
Right.
sure you go and check out all the things that she's doing. Go support her in every way. Support the company's charities. I'm sorry, as she just said. Sarah, where can they find you really quick?
You guys can find me on iamsarahlease.com.
And
Hey,
you can find us at the Beret Benefits on Instagram, beretbenefits.com. That says everything that we do. And you can find me at RAWSTARR. It's two R's, people. And that's on Twitter and on Instagram. And
mhm.
again, Miss Channy, you are wonderful. You are brilliant. You are fun. I love your Cinderella. I love your Cinderella shirt.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you.
Oh,
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know if that's your favorite Disney character or not, but
Yeah, she's one of the more relatable ones growing up, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
but everybody will look at you all next week. Be well, stay blessed, and be kind to
Exactly.
each
Stay
other.
blessed. Keep following
And
your positive passions.
yes, and make sure you vote for our goddess over here, okay? Make sure
Yes,
you vote every day, or I'll be mad at you. And I'll make this
exactly.
Oh, oh, sure, man. Ooh.
I'll make a mad face.
All right,
All
bye,
right,
y'all.
y'all.